Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode from our podcast, Land Talks. Land Talks. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Sara Meush. Welcome, Sara, to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Sara, would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. So my name is Sara. I am a landscape architect working for AtkinsRéalis. I'm based in Riyadh. So I have 10 years of experience, mostly in the Middle East and a little bit in Southeast Asia. So my focus is using nature-based solutions in my design. And one of them is the Miyawaki Method.
That's great. Thank you so much. So my first question to you, Sara, is you have been designing Miyawaki forests in the Middle East for the past 4 years.
That's right.
Can you explain how this method contributes to land restoration and why it is a powerful nature-based solution for urban areas?
Of course. So to those who don't know what Miyawaki forest is or what's the Miyawaki method, so it's a Japanese technique. It's an afforestation, specifically urban native afforestation technique that Professor Akira Miyawaki developed specifically for Tokyo, which is the most populated city in the world. So why is it special? So it's special because it grows 10 times faster, and it's 30 times denser and 100 times more biodiverse than any conventional forest. And it was designed for the urban setting, not for rural areas, which is where we usually see the conventional afforestation happening. So it's really just breaking into the asphalt, the concrete, and the nice thing about this method is that it can grow in really small, tight spaces, as small as 3 meters square. And in our cities, it's becoming really challenging to find a lot of big open spaces. So instead of, waiting for between 100 and 300 years for a forest, for, natural succession forest to happen, the Miyawaki can become a mature forest within 15 to 40 years. You have a fully mature forest. So, and it's supposed to be, in the city, for people who are living dwellers of the city, obviously, the amazing benefits of a green space, specifically a forest, for people to have access to greenery, anywhere within the city. It doesn't really have to be on the outskirts, so they can tolerate, the idea is that they're native plants, so they can tolerate the urban heat island, they can tolerate the harsh conditions, of the city and within the local context.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So what are some of the unique challenges you have faced, Sara, when implementing Miyawaki forests in the Middle East? And what opportunities do you see for scaling these projects in arid environments?
A lot of challenges, but also, a lot of opportunities, not gonna lie about that. Some of the challenges, and one of the challenges really is trying to explain to people, to the community, that a forest can have different faces. As a landscape architect, people expect, or clients, expect to see this super large, super green, open space, purely aesthetic. They care just purely about the aesthetics, not very aware of, the importance of biodiversity, of sustainability. But at the same time, everybody wants to save money.
Of course.
Right? So we usually tackle the economic point, that it's sustainable in every possible way, not just environmentally, also economically, socially. So it's really hard to explain to them, because when you say a forest, it could be misleading, especially in this part of the world. They think of the forest in Southeast Asia, like in the tropics, or in Europe, North America, these conifers.
Yes.
While here trees look a little bit different. So it was hard to explain to people the importance, and that beauty can be seen everywhere, not just in certain areas.
And how did you simplify this for, people, ordinary or normal people who are not specialized?
So one thing that really was a key is to tell them that they require really very low maintenance, because people really are worried about the maintenance. They know that once you plant it, it looks good, but if you don't take care of it, it will not really look as good. So aesthetics is very important. We still design, we design the space with different geometry, interesting furniture, but we really focus on having the plants, to be native. So we introduce and we kind of merge design with Miyawaki. It's not just, trying to move. We explain to them, the importance of moving from human-centric design into a life-centric design, which includes all life.
Yes.
And humans as well. And people are accepting, to this idea.
That's great to hear. Okay, your recent work focuses on broad-scale public realm projects aligned with the Saudi Arabia's vision of 2030. How do native urban forests fit in the vision, and what role do they play in transforming Riyadh into a green city?
Well, actually, I that's my personal opinion, but Miyawaki can be the secret weapon to achieve, the vision and to fight back desertification. Not only can you grow, why does one thing I didn't really explain is why those forests grow really fast is because we grow in high density.
Yeah.
So in a conventional landscape planting, you plant between one tree and the other, maybe 6 meters. You have a little bit of shrubs below it. So that means if you wanna plant so many trees, which is like I think it's 1 million or like some huge number of trees in Riyadh, you're gonna require a lot of land. So Miyawaki really saves you from using a lot of land, because you can plant as 4 to 5 plants within 1 meter square. So plants doesn't specifically have to be trees, maybe 2 trees in 1 meter square, but that's still a lot. That's still way more than having 6 meters between one tree or the other. That's a minimum of 6 meters. Sometimes we go up to 15. So you don't need a lot of land. You will be achieving that many trees, and at the same time you're increasing biodiversity. You're like 100 times more than planting adaptive plants or tropical plants, which they don't really have a lot of benefit. And they require a lot of maintenance. And by maintenance, sometimes maintenance can be really, fertilizers, using chemical fertilizers, fungicides, this is poison. You're poisoning the land,
Yeah.
And the Miyawaki really doesn't use any chemical or, any chemical fertilizers or fungicides. So the soil is it's like gold, it's so precious. So we really make sure to take care of it and not poison it,
Yes. Many of your projects involve schools and private owners. How do you engage communities in these initiatives, and what role does education play in promoting the benefits of urban forestry?
It plays a crucial role, As we say, you have to start them young. You have to really, when you spread awareness, you really focus on the young generation. They are the future, nature restorers, if you want, or custodianship, of environment. So in the public realm, we create a lot of open spaces that are educational. The core of the space is to be educational space for children and young adults, not just children, to learn about the importance and to see, the importance of protecting and restoring the land and the environment in general. So we make sure that when we talk about, there are a lot of mega projects happening on a city scale. You have a lot of schools, you have a lot of kindergartens, you have universities. We always make sure in our guidelines that a Miyawaki forest is planted with the teachers, and we make sure the students plant this forest, not the contractor or whoever the landscaper is coming to build that space. We make sure that empty plots are left for children to plant themselves. I talk to so many adults here in Saudi Arabia, and they've never planted a tree in their life, which is extremely shocking to me. So it's really important to change the narrative of the landscape in Saudi Arabia, and it starts with the young people.
That's great to hear. So, in your massive experience, Sarah, what is the one universal truth about restoring land?
It's really the people, the community. You know, without the community, you can't do anything, because at the end of the day, we're planting these forests for the community. People protect the land gives back. It's a really full cycle. I think the one universal truth is the community.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being with us today. And for our users and our listeners, our audience, stay tuned for more and more episodes from Land Talks podcast, powered by the G20 Global Land Initiative. Thank you and goodbye.